Howdy folks and good evening. This is BelGeode. We are in Microsoft Flight Simulator and this is a test. I dare say this is a very special test because we have basically upped the ante right now. Now I don't necessarily mean the aircraft or the airport or what we're going to be doing today. I'm talking about upgrades. Yay! About bloody well time I actually upgraded some of my computer gear. So if you're curious, my current computer gear is in the About Me section of my YouTube channel. So if you click on my profile picture, it should take you there, or you can just navigate there yourself. But suffice to say, the major thing that I have added as of this week being early November, kind of an early birthday gift for myself, I have upgraded my GPU. So the current GPU that I have in this bird, since I'm a Radeon guy, I have the AMD Radeon 7900 XT. Not the XTX, mind you, just the XT. It is the brand ASRock, ASRock. I'll link it in the video description in case you're a Radeon guy and you've been looking for a decent card. Needless to say, I've had a little bit of teething issues, so before we get too far into the video, I do want to issue a warning. If you do notice some freezes, I will probably do some light editing and see if I can cut out any multiple second freezes. It has been happening intermittently. It's been, like I said, teething issues with this card. Brand new card. I also need to upgrade my power supply. I'm currently running a 750 watt power supply in this thing. I ordered a 1000 watt. I'm going to install it when it gets here tomorrow. But suffice to say, so far I've been that impressed with the improvement in the graphics quality, in the FPS, and so on and so forth, that I felt the need to share with you. Now, if you watched the previous video, where we went up in the high performance group H160, you will no doubt remember near the end of it, I said one of the aircraft that I wanted to show off was this one. This is the Got Friends rendition of the Grumman F4F Wildcat, a staple in World War II in the United States Navy, as well as other navies around the world. But yeah, this is one of the birds that helped to fight and win the war in World War II. Now, of course, better birds came along over time, so the F6F, for example, the Hellcat, and of course the F4U Corsair and the P-38 Lightning and all of those good jazz. But for a good while there, when America first entered the war, or even in Britain on that front, this bird was one of the major players there. You could find this bird more than any of the others at that particular time. So, Got Friends came out with this Wildcat. It's actually been out for a while. As you know, I'm behind on a lot of my first looks and showcases and whatnot. But I felt this one definitely needed to be showcased because I'm a huge fan of anything Grumman, basically. And especially this bird with the lineage that it has, being the great grandpappy of the tomcat. Yeah, I had to take a look at it. And I am so far very impressed. As you've no doubt seen as I've been going around the aircraft, the textures are top notch. And Got Friends did add a lot of different little features in there that we're going to be checking out. As far as where we are today, we are back in Oceania. More accurately, we are on Wake Island. Now, Wake Island was another one of those islands where the U.S. had taken over as part of the whole island hopping campaign to defeat Japan on their way to Japan. And it is, I believe, currently still in use by the United States Air Force. I was going to feature it in the Armor 3 series, but the Armor 3 series got bogged down and eventually just basically canceled. I wasn't getting enough feedback on the Armor 3 series to really continue it. But Wake Island was going to be the new home for Voodoo Squad after all the events of the first season had ended. So yeah, here we are on Wake Island. We're going to fly around for a little bit, and part of the reason why I came here is Miltech, I believe it is. Their World War II carriers. There's one here. There's another Lexington here. I believe it's CV-23 that they've added just offshore. So we're going to go up. We're going to do some shenanigans around the clouds here, and we're going to see if we can find it. I will remind you, although you will have already seen the pop-ups, I'm running custom weather. I don't run live weather. I'm trying to reduce anything that could possibly cause any kinds of undue issues. For example, server hiccups and so on. So we're just running custom weather, and we've set it for basically no wind. So that may or may not hamper us trying to do a carrier trap. This could end badly. So I'm just going to warn you from now. If you have something to drink, then my suggestion would be to put it down when I attempt to do a carrier landing, because this could always end in death. And with that having been said, let's take a look at the external cameras that they have provided to us. Alright, so our first camera, pretty stock standard, the behind the bird shot. I love this because this is what I use mostly whenever I am doing my flying, so that you can see me do the shenanigans and whatnot, and I don't have to lose control of the aircraft. Second view, the BelGeode landing cam. Yay! I'm pretty sure they don't refer to it as the BelGeode landing cam, but if all developers from here on out could now please refer to this camera as the BelGeode landing cam, I would greatly appreciate it. There are no kickbacks involved. You're not getting paid for it, but just start doing that. It'll make the community a better place. Trust me on this one. Third camera is our port side camera, and as you can see, it is at an angle because the plane is at an angle. It's a tail dragger, obviously. So yeah, pretty stock standard stuff. That would make for good title shots and so on and so forth. But we'll see what we can come up with when we're flying. Typically, I like to do my YouTube thumbnails as a still of a portion of the video that we're doing. Alright, wait. Did it just give me... It just gave me 2 port shots. There's no starboard shot? Oh, somebody forgot to add a minus in there somewhere. Yeah. Okay, God friends. Alright, then we have this shot, which is straight up, or going towards the back. So you can see they're using the Asobo pilot, which I appreciate because, let's face it, I'm not a World War II pilot. I do kind of look like the guy in the cockpit, and if I owned an aircraft like this in real life, I would probably dress like that. I would not be one of those guys that gets into a flight suit. No offense to you guys that get into the flight suits, but I can't do that, man. I can't do that. Just give me my jeans, my t-shirt, my jacket. I'm good. And a hat. The hat stays on. That's a little inside joke for those of you who've been watching Starfield. Alright. Oh, by the way, the Starfield will continue, so if you keep bitching about it, it doesn't matter. I'm still going to put it up. I just need to get that out of my system. Alright, then we have our final camera, which is the far away shot. Now, this might actually be good for getting that thumbnail that I so crave. So we'll see if we can use this. But for now, we're going to put it here, and we're going to get into the cockpit. Alright, so welcome to the cockpit of the Wildcat. I'm going to move myself around in the seat. Sorry if the video is really shaky. I am physically moving myself around in the seat. So I hope you don't get motion sickness. That's all I can really tell you. But yeah, you can see the quality that Godfriends has put into this thing. This is awesome. This is up there with the likes of Milviz, or excuse me, Blackbird, with the likes of Flying Iron and so on and so forth. They have done a really good job. This looks great. It looks lived in, and more importantly, in VR, it's crystal clear. It's sharp. I will remind you, I am running a Reverb G2, and I am using OpenXR toolkits. So the way I have everything set up right now, it should be pretty sharp on your screen as it is in my headset as I'm recording this. Just bear in mind, YouTube does tend to compress videos, so that's a downside that we have to deal with, unfortunately. There's not really much we can do about that. But at least I try to put these things up at 1440p, 60 FPS, which I think I am actually finally hitting that 60 FPS mark and higher. with this new graphics card. This is amazing. Why didn't I do this before? Sheesh. All right, but let's see if we can get this bird started. It is a little bit involved, not nearly as much as like the Corsair, but it's of that same lineage, so we're going to need a checklist. And I do believe Godfriends remembered to add a checklist. Yay! I love it. Such a simple thing, people. Code it. Put it in your aircraft. For those of us in VR that don't feel like we want to try and see if we can get another app so that we can see, you know, PDFs in VR. And for those of you developers who don't want to have to make like a little iPad somewhere in your aircraft, just do this. This is why this exists. This is exactly why this exists. Do it. Just do it, please. All right, let's go through the checklist here. We have a little I. This helps too if you have this in there. So this will tell us how to unfold our wings. Aha, look at that. Blue switch over there. So I bet if I hit this blue switch, it will allow me to unfold my wings. Beautiful thing, beautiful thing. This is why I love naval aircraft, the fact that they can do that. It's stupid, isn't it? When you think about it. Most aircraft don't fold their wings. You don't have a need to fold their wings. Naval aircraft, it's a common thing, but it just makes me so happy. I'm going to be silly this entire video. It's November. It's my birth month. My birthday's on the 18th, by the way. All right, drop tanks, bombs, we have none. Just a reminder regarding like bombs and stuff. I don't know if this aircraft is currently on the MSFS marketplace, the InSim marketplace. But remember, anything bought on the marketplace will not have weapons. All right, now this is cool. Map tray. Look at this. So the Corsair has this. And the Wildcat has this. And this is really cool because not only do you have like a little chart with a little ruler there and everything, but you see this little note? These are all your extra options. So ground handling, we're currently set to authentic. Aerobatic smoke, we could turn on. Handle interactions is in auto mode. What that means, so like your canopy, your gear, your flaps and so on and so forth, all the stuff that normally in real life you would have to hand crank, and heaven help you if you've got a damaged aircraft that you're trying to control with one hand and you're trying to crank the gear in the other. Yeah, this alleviates that problem. So you can do it automatically. We're going to keep that as automatic because I am not messing around today. Drop tanks, we don't have any. Mirror installed. You will see the little mirror up here. It's working. It's actually working. It's actually reflecting what it should be reflecting, I think. I didn't really look that closely. Primer simulation is currently off. We can turn it on. Our primer, by the way, is right here. It tells you if it's underprimed or if it's ready. We're going to leave it off because I want things simple for this video. And of course, at the very bottom it says unfold wings. I'm not sure if you can see that because of the way my head is like tucked into my chin here, so I can actually make sure it's showing up on the camera. And you see that little Garmin thing on the other side? That is if we want to add a GPS. We are not going to add a GPS. We're going to do it the old-fashioned way here. All right, so we close the map tray and we have our options selected. This is great. Weight and balance has been verified before the flight. Battery voltage checked. I want to say this might be it. Possibly, maybe. I think so. Yeah, I think that's our battery voltage thing. All right, well, we checked it. Let's go ahead and get the master battery switch on. Now, I will remind you with my Virpil setup, when I turn on the master battery switch, it will also turn on the generator. That's just a thing that I do. That's just a thing that I do. I have to have it like that. Otherwise, it drives me crazy. All right, elevator trim handle, rudder trim handle, aileron trim wheel set to neutral, and tail wheel unlocked. Okay, so our trim is all over here, and everything is set to neutral. It's not like the Corsair where you have to have that 661. You can actually keep everything neutral, and you should be fine. In theory. Don't quote me on that. All right, tail wheel. I want to say the tail wheel is locked, but let me just check. Where's my tail wheel switch? There it is. Locked, unlocked. Okay, we want it unlocked. Altimeter is calibrated. It should be. We're at 29.9 or 2. All right, before starting engine. Perfect. Fuel selector. We need the main selected. Our fuel selector switch, you can't miss it. It's a big red switch right back there. Currently set to off. One click will make us left tank, and next, right tank, and next, main tank. Emergency is the last setting, by the way. We won't need that today, hopefully. All right, emergency fuel pump switch. We want to make sure that's on. So that is this one here. You can't miss it. You got the red right there. Pretty much everything that can catch fire is in red. That's the easiest way to remember it, I think. Anything that has to do with something that could catch fire, it's probably in red. Again, don't take my word for gospel on that one, but that's what we're going with. Magneto set to both. Here's our magneto. So left, right, both. And throttle needs to increase above 10%. So throttle. Okay, we'll pull it back. It's about 12% right now. Mixture to full rich. Here's our mixture knob. And it's also red. See? See? All right, there we go. Full rich. Prop lever needs to be at 100. This is our prop lever right here. And it should already be at 100. So I'm going to back it off a little here. Yeah, it's coming back. So we want it at 100. All right, now comes the really fun part. Now we get to prime it. Now, I'm not sure what the simulation of the primer does, if it gives you like a chance to start or not start, but we're going to do it the easy way by just holding down the left mouse button a few times until it says ready. There we go. It says ready. Okay, we're good to go. Cowl flaps as required. Cowl flaps is here. Now you'll notice it's doing it automatically. That's that setting that I showed you before. So all of these cranks, it's going to automatically open it out to its fullest setting. If you don't want that, then you would deselect that option on the little map. And then just remember, you now got to hand crank this stuff, so you better have a control for it. Section lights as required. Section lights should be here. We're going to set ours to flash. Landing light is off. Section light is bright. Approach light is off. Running lights bright. Tail running lights bright. Formation is set to flash and formation bright. That's our gun camera. Wow. How do I turn it off though? Because now I'm outside the bird. Yeah, about that. Mistakes may have been made here. I'm just going to pull myself back here. We're just going to pretend that we didn't see any of that. Where's my gun camera switch? Hello, gun camera. Oh, can I not turn you off now? Really? Wow. Okay. Well, this is our life now. This is where we live. We live in here. Okay, let's open up the thing. And we want cameras. All right, can I go back to pilot? Hey, how about them apples? Okay, so mental note. Don't turn on the gun camera in VR. Bad idea. Bad idea. All right, I'll let that one slide though, because that was me. That was not got friends. We're just going to go with that, right? You never saw it. It never happened. All right. Approach lights. That is this guy here. Basically, it's your taxi lights. Formation lights as required. Okay. Now we're ready to actually start the bird, and it will get loud. Let me just tell you. Generator's already on. Okay. Here's how you start the bird. Real easy. See this switch? Hold it down. Let it go. And yay, we got noise. We got a lot of noise. It's going to get loud. Okay. Headphones as required. Thankfully, Got Friends remembered to put headphones. Where are they, you ask? Right down here. Ah, much better. Much better. If we take them back off, you see the difference. That's awesome. I love that. Thank you, got friends. All right, pitot heat as required. We're going to require it. So pitot heat should be tucked in here somewhere. I just saw it. There it is. Pitot heat closed. Okay. Pitot heat is now on. All right, that's what I want. That is what I want. Propeller lever as required. We're going to keep it props full. And parking brakes, shocks removed. Yeah, that's fine. Let's see if there's any gotchas before we take off. Landing light on, prop full, canopy as required, tail wheel locked, and increase throttle to 100. Okay, so we're good with the checklist. Thank you so much for that. And I suppose I should probably contact the tower at this point in time and tell them we are geared for takeoff. Oh, it's one of them. Okay, well, we'll announce a taxi then.
Papa Whiskey Alpha Kilo traffic F4F-4 November 70 Alpha Golf Bravo is taxiing to runway 28.
Runway 28. All right, now comes the fun part. So this is a tail dragger. This is a World War II tail dragger, so you know what that means. Differential braking. Parking brakes off. We'll go to the underside view. Okay, as always, be careful with your brakes. You can nose over in this thing, and we don't want to do that, do we? But yeah, everything is looking good. Let's go to that outside drone camera. We'll go around the aircraft once before we take the active, and we'll just make sure everything's kosher. Okay, so you may wonder why I put it to the BelGeode landing cam. That is because we're going to need to line up our tail wheel and lock it. Alright, we're going to tell them we're departing straight out.
Papa Whiskey Alpha Kilo traffic F4F-4 November 70 Alpha Golf Bravo, taking off runway 28 straight out departure.
Okay, I don't see any traffic, do you? I would say we're good. All right, parking brakes can come off, and let's go ahead and waddle our way onto the active. Runway 28. In the middle of this, I will switch it to the BelGeode landing cam, so that way I can lock the tail wheel. Alright, and you know what it's time for, folks. Brakes down, throttles up. Let's get that manifold pressure up. Usually around 30-ish is about good. Alright, we're good. Brakes off. We're rolling, rolling, rolling. A little bit of rudder tango there. We do have a slight crosswind, but it's not much. And there we go. She wants to roll slightly to the left. I think we have enough power, so let's go ahead and bring her up. And let's bring the gear up. I dare say this is quite possibly the smoothest Microsoft Flight Simulator has ever been in VR for me. What a difference a graphics card makes. Holy crap. Okay. Now, I haven't always been Team Red. I've usually gone Team Green, but ever since I got into VR, I've been using like the RX 480 and so on and so forth, and then of course the Radeon 7. And I haven't switched because even though I do know that specs-wise the NVIDIAs are better, they're also way more expensive in the light of everything that's been going on with cryptocurrency and all of that stuff. It's artificially jacked up the prices for everything. So Radeon is still very much a competitor in my books just because of that. But as has been plainly seen in past videos, it doesn't even match the same amount of horsepower and performance that one would be able to get out of like 3090 or 4090 for that matter. But yeah, this changes the game here. This 7900 XT, and from what I hear, its bigger brother, the XTX, Yeah, this is definitely giving Radeon a little bit better. I don't want to say advantage because it's still a very competitive field out there, but just experiencing this right now, this is totally worth it. Totally worth the money I spent for this card. This is what I've needed all along. It really is. Of course, my next thing is going to be to upgrade my motherboard and my CPU, but that's going to be a while yet. And that'll probably be a 2024 thing. All right, let me close the canopy here. So this canopy has several stops, so you got to be careful with that when you're doing that. We can latch it completely here because I would like to do some shenanigans. You know, it's me. I have to do shenanigans. I just have to. But let's check our RPM here. RPM's looking good. We're going to pull it back a little bit here. So about 2,800 RPM maybe. I'll be honest, I didn't look in the books to see what the numbers are for this particular bird, like where you should have it set during all regimes of flight. But it seems like Godfriends have done their homework, at least on the audio cues and everything. So similar to how I fly like the Hellcat or the P-38 or the Corsair, I kind of know what to listen for that will tell me if the aircraft is behaving properly or if I'm about to fall out of the sky in a blaze of glory. And so far, so good. And look at this moody sky too. This is just so awesome. I love this custom weather setting. Pretty much what I do is I take their scattered cloud setting, add more clouds, add more variations in the altitude of the clouds, and I change the winds as I see fit. Like I'll make it the runway that I want to take off on will go ahead and influence it, so that way it'll be on that runway there. But yeah, look at this. That's Wake Island, folks. That is Wake Island. Never been there in real life, heard a lot about it, and I spent a lot of time there in Arma 3, which unfortunately you will never see. But yeah, clearly I'm going to need to come back here more often in Microsoft Flight Simulator. This is awesome. This is just awesome. All right, it is now shenanigans time, so let's see if we can find a nice, clear, open spot where we don't have any clouds directly in front of us or underneath us. So that way I can do some funky business. Some funky monkey business. That's what it's all about, baby. That's what it's all about, the funky monkey business. And can I just say it's the little things that matter. For example, look at the map tray. You see it jiggling, right? And when we were in outside view looking head on, you could see the cowling was jiggling too. That is the kind of stuff I enjoy. Thank you, Godfriends, for taking care of the little things that matter. All right, let's do some shenanigans. Oh, that's awesome. That is just so awesome. I sincerely hope that that recorded well. As you know, that is the one thing that I really can't control when I am flying these things in VR, is how it records. But hopefully that came out okay. All right, let's see. Do I really want to tempt fate here? I think I do. All right, come on, handle. Work with me here. Just work with me. There we go. I think we want to tempt fate and see if we can actually land on this sucker. Now, I should probably figure out where my tail hook is first. Tail hook. Okay. Alright, let's see which way the ship is sailing. I believe with these World War II carriers, the island is on the same side as like Nimitz or the latest Gerald Ford class. So yeah, we need to land facing the opposite way, which ironically is in the wrong way from where we took off, but okay. I mean, we can try it. What's the worst that could happen? We crash and fall into the sea? I'm not afraid to show you that, if that's what it comes to. Alright, but we do need to line ourselves up properly. Now, I do have all of the Miltech carriers, and I want to say there are some that move, but I don't know where they are. So, unfortunately, we won't be showcasing that today. But I will, however, see if I can bring us into some kind of a pattern here. We'll try to land. Alright, what are we doing on altitude here? We are at 1,000 and change. Okay, okay. Here's where it gets squirrely, folks. Alright, first thing I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to give us a little bit of upward trim. There we go. Alright, so we are facing, what, due north? Looks like it, due north. Alright, let's make our turn. So we want a nice 30-degree bank. Coordinated turn, of course. Okay, and we want to be facing south. How are we doing on altitude? We're at about 7,500, so we have lost a little bit of altitude, but not much. This thing does have flaps, and I do have flaps set to a switch, so we'll be using that momentarily. Just trying to keep our speed under control here. You can bring this in low and slow. Unlike the Corsair, it will not get too violent with you. Notice how I said that. And clearly I have overshot my target. Okay. No, we're actually on target here. Okay, well, that's fine. We'll go with it. We'll go with it. Alright. Let's go ahead and get the gear down. There it goes, doing its geary thing. We should probably get that tail hook down too. We should have done that first, actually. Okay, let me check outside. And clearly I'm going to need a bit more trim. Alright, we're at 100, so we'll trim for that speed here. Okay, and we'll begin our turn. Quick check outside. Okay, I do see a tail hook back there somewhere. So, yeah, we should be good. I hope. If we're not, we're going to find out really quick. Alright, let's get that power down a bit. The flaps, I believe, only has one setting, up or down. So, we're down right now. So that means we're going to bleed off airspeed crazy fast. And we're a little further back than I would like, than I feel comfortable with. But again, I have no idea what's going to happen here. I don't know if it's going to automatically stop us on a carrier or if we are going to be doing a bolter. We're about to find out together. And of course I need to move myself in my seat so I can see over the nose. Thankfully it's not a Corsair with the hose nose. Oh boy. Alright, let's bring her in. Let's bring her in. Did we even touch? I don't think we touched. I don't think we touched at all. Oh, you know what? My RPM is down too. Let's get that prop pitch back up. All right, that's a bolter. All right, we're at 300. We're going up to 400. Let's bring her around. I felt like I was a little bit low on that approach, so I'm not surprised that it kind of messed up there. We did establish we are actually going east to west, which I can change our thingamabobber here. There we go. So that'll help us as far as getting lined up properly. All right, let's make sure everything else is still down. Okay, feeling good about that. Let's level out here. We're at just shy of 600 feet. We are starting to come down a little bit here, and she does want to roll a little to the left, so I'm going to give her a little bit of right trim, right aileron trim. All right, let's do this. Let's do this. Again, bearing in mind, I'm not using that little carrier thing that I showed off a few videos ago with the Hellcat. So I don't know if I have to have that on in order for this thing to trap, or if it's going to trap if I just have the right parameters set. I'm hoping it's the latter, but we'll give it 3 bolters. If I can't get this thing down in 3 bolters, we're going back to wake. All right, let's get that speed down here. And keep her coming round. She's coming round the mountain. Yeah, I'm feeling like we're getting a little low, so I'm going to give her some more throttle. Okay, right around 100. Okay, we are lined up. We can cheat a little bit and go to the outside view. Start dropping that power. Not too much, mind you. Hey! How do you like them apples? That's some nice apples, ain't it? Let's go to the outside view. That's how we do it, folks, just like back in the Naval Academy, which I've never been to. All right, tail hook can come up. Okay, we're good to go. And let's see, should I fold the wings now or later? You know what, we're going to hold off on folding the wings until we move a little bit forward here. Gotta watch that taxi speed too. Now we do have the capability to reverse in this thing, and you know how we do that. The actual Microsoft Flight Simulator reverse option. Ooh, just barely missed that one. Wow. Okay. Alright, but I want to go this way. So I think I remembered to unlock the tail wheel, didn't I? Yeah, I sure did. Alright, here comes the hard part. Trying to park this sucker without falling off the deck. We're feeling a little close there. We're feeling a little bit close there. Can he do it, folks? I think he can. Alright. Chocks on. Wings fold. And we'll wait till that is done before we power everything down. I noticed I didn't turn on my landing lights, but not gonna worry about it. Alright, generator will turn you off. Master battery. Cockpit master lights will turn you off. We got our prop pitch down while we're at it. Come on, prop pitch. Dang, take forever. I should really put that on a lever instead of a rotary. I think that would work better. Alright, and mixture off. It's a beautiful thing. So there you have it. Got friends. Grumman F4F Wildcat. Absolutely amazing, and I couldn't have picked a better bird to showcase my first attempts to record in VR with my new Radeon 7900 XT. I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. The performance is so much better. It's crystal clear, which I guess technically it was crystal clear before when I was using the Radeon 7. But the fact that my FPS are back, oh yeah, I love it. This is so awesome. And I sincerely hope that you have enjoyed this little showcase. So just to remind you, this is the Got Friends Grumman F4F Wildcat, and we are parked here on the Lexington CV23, or is it 32? I don't even remember. It'll pop up at the bottom. That's all you need to know. You don't need to remind me in the comments. I've had a couple of you try to get me on my historical facts. I'm not doing this for historical accuracy, folks. I'm just doing this to showcase the dang bird and the scenery. Yes, that's really it. I'm not here to teach you anything. Except buy this. It's totally worth it. Alrighty, folks. But you know what? That'll do it for me. I've talked your ear off long enough. So thank you as always for watching. This has been BelGeode. I have been flying in Microsoft Flight Simulator. And this is Sim Update 13, which also contains the World Update. Technically, it contains World Update 14, but since we're not in Eastern Europe, we will just concentrate on World Update 13, which is Oceania, which is what provided us with Wake Island, as well as some other islands that we're going to check out later, like Vanuatu, the forgotten islands that Microsoft and Asobo did not include in the release version of this sim. I'll show them to you in the next video. But in the interim, if you enjoy what you've seen, please feel free to give me a like. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so. And we now return you to your regularly scheduled Starfield playthrough in process. I'll be back soon. I promise. Alrighty, folks. I'll talk to you soon. Ciao.